Welcome to another edition of MassCAC Student Athlete Spotlight, where each week I highlight amazing student athlete from around the conference. My name is Emily Liu, MassCAC Assistant Commissioner, and speaking with me today is Serenity Sands from Bridgewater State Track and Field. Thank you so much for being here, Serenity.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So let's talk about your athletic background. What sports did you play growing up, and what drew you to track and field?
So actually track was the first sport I ever did, pretty much that I stayed committed to. I did gymnastics very briefly when I was in kindergarten, tried out for cheerleading in 6th grade, didn't make the team, tried out for basketball in 7th grade, didn't make the team. And then 8th grade, I decided to do track actually because my sister did it in high school. And yeah, stuck with it ever since then.
Do you think gymnastics influenced at all maybe what some of your events are for track and field?
Maybe. I don't know. It was very brief. And I actually did hurdles because my sister also did hurdles. And my first indoor season, my coaches were trying to get me to do high jump, and I was all set on that. I was like, no, that looks crazy. And then by the springtime, they got me in there, and I love it now.
I was going to say, I feel like some of the gymnastics tumbling and some of what you do, it's very graceful what you do in high jump, but some of it can be a little bit similar. So that's why I had to ask.
Yeah, definitely overlap.
All right. So like I said earlier, you're at Bridgewater State. So what was it that brought you to Bridgewater?
So Bridgewater was actually the first school that recruited me. I ended up taking a gap year after high school, so I didn't go to any college right after high school. But I knew people here at the school, and I knew I'd always have a spot here on the team if I wanted it. So after a couple years off, that meant a lot to me that they were still willing to give me a chance here and see what I could do even after not competing for a while. So it just felt right to be here, and I felt very welcomed to come on this team.
Can I ask what you did during your gap year?
Yep. I just worked. Yeah, I worked the first year, and then I went back to college, but that first year I didn't do track.
Okay. All right. Oh, gap years are very popular. I'm hearing a lot more high
Yeah.
school students deciding to do that, which you know what, if you can do it, sure, go for it,
Yeah.
take that time
It,
to be ready for school.
it
Um,
wasn't planned, but it definitely helped me grow a lot.
cool. And I'm glad to hear that you still were, welcomed with open arms and get to still be part of Bridgewater State and the track and field team,
Hmm.
which and seeing your progression, you're tying into this season, you're having a fantastic season, breaking some school records, hitting all these amazing marks. So can you just talk about, some of your motivating factors this year?
Sure. So my first year here at Bridgewater, um, it was a little bit of an adjustment period, like getting used to competing in college and the mental side of all that. So I feel like that kind of affected my performance. And I just didn't, I guess, have the confidence to really go out there and do what I was capable of. And then the second season comes around, I worked on my confidence. I felt really ready for it. We also had our indoor season off. So I was really ready to compete in the spring. And I actually had PR'd a couple weeks before the spring season. But just a few weeks into it, I got injured and I wasn't really able to bounce back from that. So that also felt like I had opportunity taken away from me. So now this season, I feel like all the pieces are falling into place. Like I've worked on the mental side, the confidence. I'm healthy now. So I just feel really lucky that all the pieces have fallen into place. So I'm able to do what I know I have been able to do.
All right. Well, speaking of the indoor season, this Saturday is the MassCAC Championship. It also
Mm-hmm.
kicks off a stretch of, New England championships and some last chance meets to try to qualify for the NCAA indoor. So what is your mindset going into this weekend?
So I feel like this weekend will be like a little peek into what championship season will be. Um, I know we have a really small team this year, so I think it's going to be really good for us to go out there and really tap into our competitive side and see if we can still defend our MassCAC title. And hopefully that goes well for us, and hopefully we can ride that energy on into the postseason championship meets.
What is that like for you? You know, in many sports you have, you know, like the MASCAC championship, the tournament, and then it's NCAAs. But you have you can, you know, have a great meet at MASCACs, and then you can keep having that. Like, do you feel like that helps you as in your quest to qualify for the NCAAs to continue to have those weeks of competition?
Yes, definitely. So last week when I cleared 171, I was not expecting that day. It just wasn't, I didn't seem that bouncy that day or that springy for the earlier heights. So I cleared 171 and then I got to attempt 174. And just a few months ago, I would never guessed that I would even be able to attempt that. And I didn't clear it, but looking back at the videos of it, it proved to me that I can jump higher than that. So even though I didn't clear, I feel like just having those experiences like can instill confidence in me and know that like those heights are coming.
Great. And we as we've seen many, many times, this weekend is a great time to start that upward progression into NCAA. So obviously wish you the best of luck this weekend. We'll see you
Thank
there.
you.
All right, so let's switch from the athlete side of things and to the student side of things. So share with us what your degree path is and maybe some of your short and long-term goals.
So I'm majoring in psychology and I have a minor in exercise physiology, and I'm hoping to get my master's in sports psychology after that, and hopefully be able to work with college athletes to help them get control of the mental side that I know like I struggled with my first year competing in college.
That's fantastic. I think it's definitely a need, and something that I know many student athletes would definitely utilize for sure. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. All right. If you didn't know it, it's the 50th anniversary of Division Three this year. Hopefully you did.
Mhm.
So what would you tell someone who is considering Division Three for their collegiate career?
So D3 can be a really good opportunity. It doesn't matter what division you're in. Um, I think it's special because as we know, like D3 doesn't have scholarship money. So I feel like that lets you know that everyone here, like everyone that you're surrounded with, like student athletes, you know that they really want to be here and there's not like outside factors keeping them here. And I've had people ask me like why I'm Division 3 based on my skill level. But I always say, like, I wasn't the jumper I am now that I was in high school. And I was still able to develop my skills here, like, a lot. And that's thanks to my coaches that I found here.
All right. So now we've talked about those questions. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit and ask some more fun questions. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. First one's easy one. Dunkin' or Starbucks?
Duncan,
Go to order.
an everything bagel with extra cream cheese.
Are you a coffee drinker or no?
During the season, I try not to drink caffeine because it can like mess up my sleep schedule. But if I was going to order coffee, I would get medium iced caramel extra extra.
Ooh, okay. Hey. All right. Favorite brand of shoe for competing?
Hmm. I would say Nike, but it's also, I think it's the only brand I've had. So I can't really
Okay.
compare it to anything else.
Hey, if you like, you know what you like. So if you like it, there you go.
hmm
All right. This might be an interesting one. Indoor or outdoor track and field preference?
Outdoor. I feel like a lot of people disagree with that because the weather is like iffy during outdoor. But when it's good weather, it's like, it doesn't compare to indoor.
I gotcha. I don't know how many outdoor championships I've been to where I come home looking like a lobster because I got burnt. So, yes, I would agree with that. I do like outdoor for the weather piece, but it also can be tricky. So,
Yeah.
all right, if you could have lunch with anyone, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Hmm. I would say Anna Hall. She's a heptathlete and I think she's about my age. She's 22 and she's already professional. And I actually really look up to her. I follow her on Instagram and I feel like I get a lot of tips from her, like how to stay in the zone and how to keep pushing yourself through training.
All right, last one. Bridgewater State red or white?
Ooh, I would say red.
So say there's
Good
no wrong
color.
answer for that one. It's just a preference. So, but you like the red?
Yeah, it's bright. It's catches your attention.
It is the only one in the MassCAC that's red. That's yeah.
True.
That's that's always we have a lot of shades of blue, but
Mm-hmm.
you're the only red. So, well,
Even
Serenity,
better.
thank you. Sorry. Thank you
That's
so
right.
much for being here and doing this interview. We wish you and Bridgewater and all of our indoor track and field teams the best of luck this weekend as we start our winter champs.
Thank you.
And
Thanks so much for having me.
of course, and stay tuned next week for another edition of MassCAC Student Athlete Spotlight.